a little bit on this. All right, this video is for the nerds. This is for the really serious people. I'm talking to Cole, I'm talking to you. We're gonna dig into my vocal chain. It is not complicated, but it works for me. I'm not the master of masters. This is just what I'm doing. I'm gonna take you a little closer and show you what's going on here. So first in the chain, always, pretty much always, because I'm never recording in like the ideal space. This is a really nice room, but it's still not perfect. And we'll give you a tour of it later and show you like what's going on here. But I'm either recording in my little home studio or this studio, and it's treated, and there's not a lot of like echo going on. There's not a lot of reverb, but it still has a noise. It still has like a vibe to it. And so there's always people, like maybe they're talking in the background, or maybe they're like closing a door like 1,500 feet that way, and you're going to hear some of it. So I use a noise suppressor. That's the first thing in the chain. I use this really cheap one by Waves. I think it was like 30 bucks. It's called NS1. And what I'll do is, here, I'll play you a little something. Aha. Okay, see how it's working here? That yellow. There's a heart around our necks. Whenever I'm singing, it's doing pretty much nothing. But then when I'm either like taking a breath or just off the mic, it's going to suppress the noise. Okay, it's going to take out that background noise. It's just going to help a lot. I am going to go in later on every song and cut out silence like we did in that other video, but this just helps even on the parts where I'm singing. The higher you turn this up, the more it's going to actually start working even while I'm singing. So you want to strike a balance. I try to use it as little as possible to get the result I want, because it will start taking away from certain frequencies in the voice, and I want to maintain all of that. I want to be very surgical about what I'm taking out. So there's that. And then I go into a compressor. Sometimes I put other things first, but on this song, I used a compressor. It's the CLA 2A. It's just an LA 2A, and this is another Waves plugin. And what I'm doing here, I really am using this to gain up the volume and get it to a place where it's nice and audible, and it's bringing up the quieter parts, and then I'm barely compressing it. I have it as a gain reduction, this setting right here. And then I just listen. Oh gosh, that's the most important part of all of this. You have got to mix with your ears, not your eyes. It's going to look different on every track, okay? You can't just put in presets that will work for everything, even the same voice, because you might have recorded in a different place, or you might have been a different distance away. Just please mix with your ears. So I'll play it. I'll get the gain up to where I want it. See, it's not even compressing at all. I've just added volume. And then on these, there we go, did like a dB. You see that needle moving barely? Nothing. It's all about gain. Let's see if it moves again. Yep, barely. Use as little compression as you possibly can. As little as you possibly can. We're talking like 1 dB mostly of gain reduction. Sometimes if you have a crazy transient, it's going to be like, I don't know, 3 dB. But if it's going more than that, you're probably compressing too much. So after that, normally what I would do is throw Vocal Rider in the chain. I don't have it on this one, but I love this plugin. And since I didn't use it on this one, I'm not really going to go into it, but it's something you should have. It's very useful for most songs here. I did a little bit of Waves tune. I have auto tune as well. I have like the really expensive version. I like this one better. It sounds natural. I try to use a little bit of tune, and I never want to hear it. So you can see I've got 74% correction on there. I didn't even put in the key. It's on generic, it's on chromatic. And then I kind of adjust the speed to taste. And usually I'm not going anywhere past 20 milliseconds. That is fast. Usually it ends up between like 30 and 60. And then note transition, this is what's gonna give you that T-Pain effect. Keep it high, baby, don't put it down there. We ain't falling in love with any strippers today. Nothing against it, it's just not what I'm going for. Out of tune. I've got a compressor here, and I actually did use a preset that I just was kind of scrolling through them, and I liked it. So I used it. It's not doing a whole lot. Nothing is crazy here. We've got some roll off on the low end, and then we're adding a little bit of 10K. We're adding a little bit of highs, just some life. And it's also, you can see, it's dynamic. So it's reacting to the actual file itself, or to the track itself. It's not always going to have those frequencies removed. It's only when they reach a certain threshold. If that doesn't make sense, tell me in the comments and we'll dig in later. Last thing, one more EQ. And this one's just fresh out of Ableton. I noticed that out of that Pro Q3 EQ that I had going, there was just still some frequency in there I wasn't loving. And so I just sculpted it out. And I did this by listening. Okay, I didn't do it by, oh, I'm gonna take out 200 hertz every single time that I record a vocal. No. I found what I didn't like and I took it out. And I didn't even take it out that aggressively. And that's it. Okay, so when you're having any kind of wet effect, normally I like to put that on a bus and send the vocal to that bus. I like to do that because it gives you way more control. You can kind of like, you get to blend a dry vocal with the wet vocal. And man, it just results in a way less muddy mix for me, okay? If you do have a really good, like if you have a slide electric guitar part and it's part of the sound and it really doesn't need to be interacting with other things that are sent to the same bus with all those reverbs, with that one reverb and all the tracks being sent to that bus, we'll just put it on the track, that's fine. Not a problem. It really is as simple as that. And then the magic sauce kind of comes together. You should be happy with the way your voice sounds with just those plugs. Okay, and then as far as how it sits in the mix and how everything sounds together, now we're talking about a master bus. Now we're talking about master chain. There's a lot of different schools of thought there. I have tried it a lot of different ways. We'll talk about a master chain in another video if you're interested. This video is for the guys who asked. You're my people. Thank you for asking. Here you go. Have a nice day.
Where you make me feel like when the lights turn on, like when the music starts playing, and I can't help but dance along.